Good morning, everybody. So I'll also have another colleague of mine, Shrikant Joshi, also presenting along with me. So I'll take about 5-10 minutes first, and then we'll go to the session. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we are really doing in terms of reimagining the whole healthcare ecosystem in terms of leveraging the Microsoft technology. Just to give you a quick view, at Persistent Systems, we have a close to $100 million business in Microsoft today, and we work with Microsoft as a tech partner to be able to bring services and solutions to the healthcare world. Yeah, so what are we really doing in the healthcare space? As you will see in the slide, a slightly busy slide, from the whole thought process when a patient actually walks into the hospital or even has an issue and is reaching out to the hospital or the provider, they have various different requirements. They have a care plan if they've already been to the hospital in the past. They have a requirement, they have a caregiver. So there is so many different people involved apart from the doctor who are actually giving inputs, advice to the different groups. And what we see is that from the patient acquisition up to the whole consultation and follow-up, the whole value chain is going through a dramatic change because of the advent of technology, because of the advent of data. And across every single dimension, the data is getting collected, but it's not being used in a cohesive manner. So what Patient Care Next tries to do is give you a platform as a hospital, as a provider segment, to be able to address all different needs of your patients, give them access to a platform where they're able to book appointments with the doctors, they're able to follow through on the care plan. We're also then creating incentive mechanisms for the care plan to be adhered to. So these are the 5 different dimensions what you'll see. So patient acquisition first, which is really being able to acquire new patients from the hospital point of view. Access in terms of information. The third one in terms of doctor and consultation. How do you actually manage the consultation approach? What are the things to do? The whole care coordination is important today because there are a lot of issues. Sometimes adherence is not followed. And finally, the whole follow-up. Next slide, please. All right. So what are the 5 different elements we have automated? The first is the marketing journey. When I talk about marketing journey, I'm really talking about how you will actually approach the patient or the prospective database. Second is care coordination, all about what you will do in terms of pulling the plans together. How will you evaluate the plan? How will you actually submit the plan? How will you ensure adherence? Clinical documentation. Today we have notes-taking technology. You must have seen that you want to automate some of the notes-taking technology so that you can feed that information into OpenAI and various other technologies. Virtual health, we all know about this, very important. What we've also introduced is a symptom checker tool, which allows a patient to do self-checks in terms of how they are actually building the technology, what they're trying to do. And finally, the whole clinical analytics, which is all about, from a provider point of view, what are the different aspects. In addition to the provider segment, we are also addressing the clinical trial companies, because when a pharmacy company actually reaches out to the trial providers and provides them with a certain set of, let me say, a study which has to be done, and the clinical trial companies then actually have to bring in certain subjects to for the dosage and other things. How do you really make the decentralized clinical trials happen? How do you monitor the usage? How do you actually monitor the whole care? And then the whole journey along with it. We're also addressing needs around remote patient monitoring, being able to monitor the patient remotely. So it's almost like an ICU in the wheels, which is basically being able to extract this data, being able to pull out all the data information. Pharmacovigilance is another area which we've addressed. And finally, patient insights along with clinical trials. So how are we achieving this? The 6 key aspects of what we're doing. First is, as a company, healthcare is a big business for us. We actually work with several providers globally, several pharma companies, med devices companies, AST companies in the world. So we have a lot of domain experts working with us in developing some of these technology solutions. We have built this entire stack on the Microsoft stack because today, as a Microsoft stack and open source stack, it's available globally. Real-time analytics, we have provided more real-time analytics from clinical care data to patient data and other aspects. Comprehensive patient care solution itself, which is the whole value chain of how you will actually understand the patient, how you will evaluate the needs, and how you will provide them care and through care plans and others. I spoke about this briefly, symptom checker. So we have actually integrated our solution with API Medic, which is a third-party symptom checker solution, where you'll, as a patient, one will be able to see their solution, understand the data, and look at what possible symptoms are there. So this is like a first check before you go to the doctor. Yesterday we had one of the esteemed panelists talk about how preventive care is very important today, and what we've done is we have created a mechanism for a bot being able to interact with the prospective patient and see where exactly are some of the issues, what are the symptoms, so that when the doctor or the nurse or any other paramedic is first looking at the patient, what is the real issue, where is the symptoms already, right? So that's very important. And then finally, boosting treatment adherence. We have actually built a gamification technology which is being able to inform the patient's spouse, at times even informing even the patient's family of what has been the adherence, so that if there is any important thing not being followed, they're actually given some checks. And there's also gamification in terms of being able to look at the data, being able to look at what exactly has been adherence in the past, what are some of the behavioral changes which are there. We have actually addressed many of these behavioral aspects, because when you're looking at a patient care, you're not just talking about medication, but it's also in the mind of the patient, how they have to adhere to many of these principles. So we spent a lot of time looking at the softer aspects of behavioral care, how exactly many of these angles can be addressed. So that's about it in this presentation from a Microsoft technology point of view. Just to give you an idea, finally, this is the stack, and then I'll ask my colleague to come and talk about the broader HLS capabilities at Persistent. So the way we have built it is, you'll see the top, you have multiple user profiles. So you have a marketing executive, you have a care navigator from a clinical trial point of view, you have customer service agents, and you have the patient. And then you have web, mobile, multiple portals and access. You have the whole Dynamics 365 solution stack, and then you have the Power App portal. So this is where you'll get all the capabilities, and then we integrate with many backend systems. I spoke about Symptom Checker. We are also integrating with OpenEMR, and we're in the process of also integrating with other EMR solutions, so that we get all the clinical data along with it, and then are able to develop some of these things. So that's in summary what we have overall from a Microsoft patient care management solution. Today it's deployed globally at multiple hospitals, and we'll be happy to have any discussions. We have a booth here out, as we have sponsored as a part of this event, and look forward to meeting some of you. Thank you so much.